Hello everybody, John here, and I was asked by one of my subscribers if I had a video on my swarm catching box that I built. And I said, no I didn't, but that's a good idea. So I'm going to take a few quick moments here and kind of show you what I have for a swarm catching box. Again, this is not a swarm trap. It's a swarm catch box once I know that there's a swarm out there and I've been called. So I take it to the site then, and I have everything in that I need. I got trimmers, I've got wires to tie the lid down, I've got the sheet, bee brush, and even I always like to have a little bit of a platform here in case I need to scrape bees onto or maybe use at the base of this catch box. But what it is, it's a simple little tote. I don't know the gallon size of it for sure, but it's one that I had, and I thought, well, I needed something quick, better than a cardboard box to go out and catch these swarms. So the first thing I did, I wanted a couple holes at the bottom in case the swarms were on the ground or there was a spot where they needed to kind of walk in, or sometimes if I catch a swarm and shake it, they'll land around on the ground, and it gives them on the sheet, and it gives them a place then to walk into the hive. So what I did is I took a board, I had some leftover cedar lumber, and I took a board on the inside, I put on the inside and I put on the outside, and I screwed them together, and then I drilled two 1-inch holes with a hole saw through it, and then I've got corks that'll fit the holes. So this is my bottom entrance if I need it. At the top here, I learned very quickly that you just cannot leave the lid like this. 8 months out of the year, the lid's on it, and I've got all extra bee equipment in it that I store. But the 4 months that I use it, most of the time, I'm using the lid flipped over. And the reason being is it fits nice and tight on here, and it keeps the bees from crawling up in there and getting squished. So once I dump a swarm in, it's easy then to lay the lid on top and slide it wherever I need it to go. Sometimes I leave it a little bit more open. Sometimes I close it down as the bees are starting to fly in. So I'll close it down to about a 1/2 inch here and just let the bees continue to come in here at the top if they will. Here's where a lot of time they'll do a lot of fanning and draw all the swarming bees into. I also thought, well, this is black. Maybe black's not the best thing to use. But it's what I had, and I really like the size and the strength of the box. So I put some 2-inch holes, 4 of them, 2 on each side, and I used some 1/8 screen and used some very sticky tape to tack it on, and it's held on the inside by the tape. So that does give it a little ventilation in case it would get too hot. Bees are used to 95 degrees. I never leave this out in the sun where it would bake the bees, but I always set it in the shade if it's going to be a few hours. But this has seemed to work really well, and it's also dark, so sunlight really don't get into it except for the vent holes here. So that's worked out really good for me. So when I catch a swarm of bees, you might have seen a few videos of me. I've been doing it for over 4 years now, and I've learned that sometimes you can't mess around. I've pulled up on a few hives and got all my stuff out and took my time, and then I sat there and I watched the swarms fly away. So I do things fairly quick. If I know there's a swarm, I try to get there as quick as I can. I get up, set up, throw the sheet down, because a lot of times I'll be shaking the bees in, and I'll lay the sheet out, and I put the box in the center of the sheet, and then I'm ready to sometimes it's easy and it's close to the ground and I can clip off a branch, and I'll just set the branch inside and close it up. That's a very quick catch. Sometimes I'm next to a tree or a limb or something that I have to shake into, so I'll shake them in and then close the lid accordingly. And then sometimes, of course, I've had to use my bucket. I have a bucket on some poles, fiberglass poles. I can reach up and I'll have to catch the swarm and then dump it in. So no matter how I do it, this is a nice little box to put them in until I get back to the apiary, or until I give them to someone. A lot of the swarms I catch, I give to other beekeepers or brand new beekeepers, and I might catch them, close it up here, and then allow them to put it in themselves if they want to, or if it's a new beekeeper, I'll give them a hand with it. So once I've caught the swarm, a lot of times it only takes me about 20 minutes or so to really catch a swarm, unless it's a difficult one, high up or in the grass or in the ground kind of. So what I do then is I'll slowly slide the lid shut, close it up. I got some little wires here I've made just to kind of hold the lid down because it isn't solid on there and you can't snap it when it's flipped upside down. And then I'll close the holes, of course. And then what I like to do is once I've done that, I might give the bees, if there's a few flying around, a chance to come and land. Most of the time they'll land right here on these screens. They can smell the queen in there. So once they do that, I come and I easily take the sheet by 4 corners and I fold it up, of course. And I've caught any bees that are still hanging underneath the lid here, and I tie it up and I'm ready to take it home. So it's a very simple, easy way to catch a swarm. I've been pretty well 95% efficient with it. A couple of instances where the swarm got away from me. Most of the time, the queen, it gets flopped into the box when I shake them. Try to work as quick as I can to get the bees in the box. If you get the queen in the box, the bees will follow. A few times I've not been able to get the queen in. She either fell on the ground or once or twice she actually didn't go in the box and she was still up in the tree, and I had to do it again a few times to finally get her caught. Or I've even caught her with a queen catcher. So this works really good, and it's a quick way to move the bees. The only thing is, whenever you get ready to release them, on some of my videos, again, you might have seen me, I tell you it's a little violent, but this, usually after the bees have set in here, I usually like to wait till the evening if I can, and give the bees time to calm down. And I like to put them in before dark, so maybe it'll kind of want them to stay inside the hive. A lot of times though, as I've showed, the bees will have already started making wax here. So this is all covered in wax, and the bees are usually hanging in a clump right above the entrance. So what I have to do then is give them a good tap on the ground, and all the bees will fall down. I then can take the lid off, and there's usually nothing on the lid. I then can take the box here, and I might tap it a couple more times again, and then I'm able to dump it inside the hive. That works really good. Most of the bees will come out. I have the hive opened up where they can fall in easily, and then I'll slowly close the hive up. If there's a few more bees in here, I'll give it a couple good taps and get them out. Then I get this out of the way. That way the scent of the queen in there is not around. And then the bees usually start forming a line on the opening of the hive. Mostly I'm putting in the top bar hive, sometimes Langstroth, but then the bees will start fanning, and it'll draw any bees that are around flying in there back into the box. So this is a very simple build, a simple way to catch the bees. I've used it for 4 years now. Very cheap, very easy. So if you are into catching swarms, this is a simple way to do it. I know a lot of times people might use Langstroth boxes and kit with frames of wax already on it. Those all work good too. Most of the time I'm installing in top bars, or now I'm installing into lands. So this is just a really quick method to catch them, get them quick, get them settled in, and then take them and move them to their new location. So hope you got some good thoughts here on this. Maybe you can use some of the ideas in your own swarm catching. Thanks again for watching, and as always, God bless.